Alrighty everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the ultimate summoning build for the Prismatic Warlock. This build is an evolution of the previous build that I uploaded. Both have their place, but this one feels more viable for Master and Grandmaster content, as recently I used it in the new Grandmaster Excision activity. But if you have a favorite build that you want to be featured in a future video, then be sure to leave it down in the comments below. And let's start out with our abilities. Starting out with Needle Storm. This is a great one-off super for some quick damage or some ad clear, but will also give us our first summon in the form of Threadlings. Any Threadling that can't find a target to attack will return to you for you to redistribute via damaging targets. Next, we're going to be using Phoenix Dive for a quick burst of healing that can also cure nearby allies, your choice of jump, and Arcane Needle. Now, I really like these for the fact that we get 3 charges and they will unravel targets, which will then cause unravel projectiles to deal additional damage. And for our grenade, we're going to be using Storm Grenade. So our exotic requires an Arc Grenade for activation, so that's why we have on Stormnade. You'll never naturally use your grenade, so there's no need to even throw it. Now let's go to our aspects, starting out with Helion. Activate your class ability to summon a Solar Mortar that lobs flaming projectiles at distant targets. Targets damaged by the mortar are scorched. Now, here's our second summon, a Solar Soul that will scorch targets. Now, this gives us a way to stun unstoppable champions, as Scorch will lead to ignitions. And the turret functions autonomously, shooting targets on its own. Just look in the general direction and it'll do its thing. Next up, we have Bleak Watcher. Hold to convert your grenade into a stasis turret that fires slowing projectiles at nearby targets. And this is going to be our third summon. This one, applying slow to targets, will freeze and ultimately shatter them, stunning both Overload and Unstoppable champions respectively. Now, because of our exotic, you don't throw this out like a grenade. It kind of just plops out in front of you. So make sure you're in a spot where the turret can see targets. Now to our fragments, starting out with Facet of Sacrifice. While you have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff, ability final blows grant bonus Darkness Transcendence energy. So by having a light buff, which we will constantly have thanks to our exotic, some of our turret final blows will also give us small amounts of darkness energy, helping us become transcendent faster. It also gives us a +10 to our discipline stat. Next up, Facet of Devotion. Defeating targets afflicted with stasis or strand debuffs grants bonus light transcendence energy. So, thanks to our stasis turret, slow and freeze will be applied to targets. So defeating them will give us a little bit more light energy, which will help us become transcendent quicker. It also gives us a +10 to our strength stat. Next up, we have Facet of Courage. Your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with darkness debuffs. So again, because of our stasis turret, targets will be debuffed by slow or freeze, and therefore our light turrets will deal increased damage to these targets, also giving us an additional +10 to our discipline stat. Next up, we have Facet of Hope. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. So this is going to be very useful, as we're going to want to use our class ability in order to summon our Helion turret. And not only will we have Amplified from our exotic, but we will also have Cure from using our class ability, which is going to feed right back in to regenerating our class ability. Next up, we have Facet of Protection. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. While Transcendent, the effect is increased. So any sort of damage resistance that we can gain is always going to be a great thing. And this will also give us an additional +10 to our strength stat. Rounding it out, we have Facet of Ruin. Increase the size and damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target, and increases the area of effect of solar ignitions. So this will buff the effectiveness of both our stasis turret and our solar turret, also giving us an additional +10 to our mobility stat. Next up is going to be our exotics, starting out with No Time to Explain. Our intrinsic, Rewind Again, states precision shots and shots against combatants slowed or frozen by stasis will return to the magazine. Our trait, Time Slip, reads, at 10 stacks of Rewind Again, a small portal will open, shooting bullets from an alternate timeline version of this weapon. Precision hits extend the portal's duration, and our catalyst allows projectiles from these time portals to shoot more frequently. So here we have our fourth summon in the form of kinetic damage. The only thing to note is that you need to have the gun out in order to keep the kinetic orb up, but it's only a small caveat for having an additional turret that will shoot targets with you. And for our next exotic, we're going to be using the Getaway Artist. Our trait, Dynamic Duo, reads convert your Arc Grenade into an Arc Soul and become amplified. The Arc Soul functions as an autonomous turret. So here is our fifth and final summon. Sorry, Void Soul. But this is better, as it will also make you amplified when you summon your Arc Soul. So converting our grenade will summon both our Arc Soul and Stasis Turret, and thanks to our seasonal mods will also give us some extra damage resistance thanks to our seasonal mods in the form of Galvanic Armor. While you have an Arc or Prismatic subclass equipped, incoming damage from combatants is reduced while amplified. We're also going to be using Radiant Orbs for while Prismatic is equipped. Picking up an Orb of Power will make you Radiant. And we're going to want to use Shield Crush. While you are amplified or Radiant, your grenade recharges faster and deals additional damage. The damage won't work with our turrets, but the recharge rate is very beneficial as we will constantly be amplified by consuming our grenade. And here are the rest of the mods that I'm using. The only one I might recommend is Kinetic Siphon to generate Orbs of Power when getting kills with no time to explain. So, our gameplay loop is all about these summons. Use your class ability to summon the Solar Mortar. Then consume your grenade to summon both your Arc Soul and Stasis Turret. Consuming your grenade will also make you amplified, which will give you bonus damage resistance, and thanks to some fragments, will also make our class ability regenerate faster. We're using No Time to Explain to gain our kinetic summon that will also shoot targets with us. And we can pop our super whenever to summon threadlings that will either seek out and damage targets or re-perch on ourselves to be redistributed. Our light and darkness ability kills will also feed into each other to gain increased transcendence energy. So feel free to pop transcendence whenever you get it for increased ability regeneration, weapon damage, and damage resistance. Basically, activate your summons and let them play the game for you. And that's the build. But before we get to the showcase, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and be sure to leave your build suggestions in the comments down below. But with all that out of the way, let's get right to the showcase. Alrighty, let's see what this build can do. Let's see. Kind of figured that I'd want to try out a bit of a more familiar environment for some of these builds, so we'll stay with Onslaught on this one. Maybe the next one I'll go back to some Overthrow. We'll see, though. We'll see. There's the Tormentor. Look at that. 4 summons shooting right now. Oh, the solo one just went away, but we'll get it back. What do you say to pop in a quick Helion? Oh, interesting. Getting suppressed takes away your turret, and I'm gonna die. Unless I get away. That's crazy. I thought there'd be some light tracking on these things. Maybe I'm forgetting. It's been a minute since I've been in Onslaught, alright? But don't think I forgot about you. How's the promotion sound? Look at this. 3 turrets right now, putting in work. I don't even have to shoot. Well, now I do, because they're gone, but man, was that a fun 20 seconds.
That's what she said!
How about some Transcendence, though? We're not really using that right now, are we? Nade right there. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, still Transcendence, by the way. Might have it this whole wave. Who knows? Alright, that's pretty much the whole wave of being Transcendent. Come on. There we go. There we go. Let's let him do the work. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Champion got melted. Give me these threadlings. Oh, or not. Kills targets. That's cool too. Get this orb up because he's slowed. And look at this. All together now. Helion. And he is dead. Look at that. Got all my souls with me too. Oh, there goes the Arc one. Now that is the buddy system. Never play alone again. So, that was the build. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Stay alrighty.